Democratic candidate for California governor and former Congresswoman Katie Porter facing backlash tonight and calls to get out of the gubernatorial race. This comes after a clip of a recent CBS News interview with her went viral.
KCRA 3 political director Ashley Zavala is here with an update and the reaction to this.
Yeah, this could be a pivotal moment in the race to replace Governor Gavin Newsom. If you have not seen this viral interview clip yet, we do have it on our website right now. Now, the latest polls have had Katie Porter as a front runner, and it's to be seen if this situation changes that. But to walk you through it, CBS News asked Katie Porter and the wide field of candidates for governor the same question, essentially, what is your message to the 40% of California voters who voted for President Trump, a Republican? As the reporter Julie Watts followed up to get Porter to answer the question, Porter accused Watts of being argumentative and threatened to end the interview. Porter said she would not move on with the interview if Watts was going to ask several follow-up questions, and expressed to the reporter that she wanted the interview to be pleasant and positive. The other candidates running in the race pounced. Democrat and former state controller Betty Yee calling for Porter to drop out of the race, posting on X, quote, "Katie Porter is a weak, self-destructive candidate, unfit to lead California. The stakes are simply too high for her to stay in this race. It's time for her to drop out of this race." Republican candidate Steve Hilton posted in part, quote, 15 years of one-party rule. This is what you get. It's time for change in California. Another Democratic candidate, Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurmond, wrote on X in part, the next governor of California must be willing to answer tough questions. And another Democratic candidate, former LA Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, he wrote, quote, we need a leader who will solve hard problems and answer simple questions. Now, I reached out to a spokesman for Porter for comment and response to Yee's call for her to get out of the race. In a text message, the spokesman, Nathan Click, replied to me noting the interview went on after the tense exchange between Porter and CBS News. I replied to him by stating this notion that she shouldn't have to take follow-up questions and expects interviews to be pleasant. These are points that I would have to report tonight on our broadcast, especially when it comes to someone who wants to be the next governor of the most populous state in the country with the fourth largest economy in the world. I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
All right, so there have been reports over the years of temper issues with Katie Porter, and now in the light of this, there are other videos that are now coming to the surface.
Right, I mean, just within the last couple of hours, Politico has obtained a leaked video of what they are describing as a moment where Porter is berating a staff member, hurling some expletives at this person to get out of a camera shot. And there is some discussion online. Will we see more leaks like this in light of this whole situation at this point?
And additionally, we're seeing the public comments that are coming to light. A lot of competitors, other candidates are posting and reacting to this. But what are you hearing behind the scenes in the political world?
Yeah, I mean, talking to my political sources, whether that's politicians or political strategists in both parties, there is a bipartisan overall consensus that the way Porter handled that interview with CBS News was not okay. Some of my sources calling it a teachable moment for anyone who wants to be in public office of what not to do. Many, though, seeing this as a major shakeup in this California governor's race.
Just because a reporter is asking questions does not make them argumentative. That's our job, to ask questions for constituents.
You know, but she has received points over the years. She's brash. She's run her initial campaign as somebody who doesn't want to put up with BS, and that has been something that has helped her in the polls.
That has, but with a simple question such as, what do you say to the people who voted for Donald Trump, which some see as a layup and an easy one? I mean, imagine if you make a tough decision as governor, what the follow-up questions would be then.
Yeah, all right.
Well, and it's a question that was posed to all of the candidates, so it wasn't like it was a unique question.
Exactly.